what your moment was that you decided to get into acting?
Well, what was my moment to get into acting? I don't know if it's the B moment. Well, there are two moments. One really doesn't count, but I was about in the 11th grade, and there was a girl I had a crush on, and she decided to sign up for the drama club, and I said, well, I'll do that too. And so I signed up, and lo and behold, she didn't get cast in the play, and I did. So that was the first. But the second one, probably more telling, about a year after that, my family moved from New Jersey to California, and I had no friends whatsoever. I was really like Snyder. I had no friends. And I was taking an English class, and we did some reading of plays in the class. And the English teacher was also the drama teacher. And he came up to me and he said, would you audition for the play I'm casting tonight, for the school play? And I had done a little acting, as I said, the year before. And so I said, sure, okay. And I went to the audition. I didn't know anybody there. It was pitiful. And I got cast. And for my senior year, which was pretty much that, for my senior year, I had, and I did the next two plays. So all the people that did plays in my school, and I got the lead, I'm sorry. And I had an immediate set of friends, who many of them are still good friends of mine. And I think that's what happened, was that I was immediately given a whole community of people that thought well of me, and I thought well of them. And I had a great time. The first play was The Crucible, and like that moment with Quark, there was a performance during The Crucible where I know I went on stage at the beginning of the play, but when I finished the play that evening, 2 hours later, 2.5 hours later, I had no memory, but it felt as though I had been on a magic carpet, and that I had literally lived through the moments of the play. I remember I'm a young man, very young man, and it was a high, for want of a better term, that I wanted to recreate as often as possible. So, and on stage, on rare occasions that I can come close to that. It doesn't really happen that often in TV, but because we stop and go so often. So my background is theater. That's what I've gone back to. That's why you don't see me that much on TV anymore, because I'm doing a lot of plays, and that's what this is for. So it's that epiphany that happened that made me go into theater. Yeah.
I actually wanted to ask you, it has nothing to do with sci-fi, but because I do know you have a theater background, is there a part that you really would love to sink your teeth in that you haven't had yet, or is there a director that you would love to work with?
Well, there are many directors, wonderful directors whose work I've seen. I would love to work with. There's one director, unfortunately, who's passed away, who I worked with once and always wanted to work with again. And it's not something you would know, and right now his name is just went out of my head. But he worked at the Guthrie for many years, which is the premier regional theater in the country. It just went out of my head. But as far as parts, my background, like led tech from, is Shakespeare. So there are a number of wonderful parts in Shakespeare. I'd like to play Iago. I would like to do Claudius again from Hamlet. I would like to play Gloucester from Lear, and I'd like to play Lear. So those are I can't. I'm too old to play Puck, and I'm too old to play Hamlet. So those are gone. But these ones I still could possibly be cast in. Thank you. That's a great question. Any other questions?
In your experiences on Buffy or DS9, did you learn something as an actor most from a certain person or another?
I learned from Renee how to use the mask in Deep Space Nine. He's a brilliant actor. Don't tell him. Turn the camera off when I say that. And so I learned how to use the mask so that to walk the fine line. The mask either covers you up and you can't get out from behind it, or it frees you up too much and you make a fool out of yourself. There's a fine line to be walked using the mask, and Renee was exceptionally good at that, and I learned from him how to use the mask. So that's one thing I learned. From the Buffy cast, I'm not so sure I learned anything, but there's something that Sarah used to do that used to blow me away. I can't do it, so I didn't learn it. But Sarah Michelle Gellar could fool around up until the nanosecond before the director yelled action. And on a dime, on a half of a dime, on a quarter of a dime, she would turn around and be in character like that. The moment he put the N on action, she would be in character immediately. And they asked Sarah to do so many different types of things as Buffy, which she did brilliantly each time. And almost all the ones that I saw, she really went from night to day in the heartbeat. And I was always in awe of that she could do that. I always have this one. Get ready. Yeah, okay. That's one of the things they did for me. Generally. But Sarah just changes like that. And then to go back to, whatever the conversation she was in the middle of, before the take, she goes right back to when the take is over. Cut. Well, as I was saying, yeah.
So other than the characters that you played on both Buffy and Star Trek, what characters were your favorite on both those series?
Oh, well, what characters were my favorite on Buffy? Well, on Buffy, I really had a great relationship with Sarah, so I thought Buffy was great. I started watching Buffy early on, long before I was on it. I think because Ken was on it, so I started to watch it because Ken was on it. And I really liked Sarah's work a great deal. And I think the character of Buffy it's a tribute both to Sarah and to Joss. Buffy is so much, I won't tell you this, but Buffy is so much more than a TV show about vampires. Buffy is the mythology, really that's what it is. It's the mythology of teenage angst, being in school, and living the years, your teenage years, when so much is happening to you. I mean, I'm sure you all know this, so forgive me for preaching to the choir, yes. The idea that a young teenage girl is in love with a boy who there's great sexual tension. If she has sex with him, if she falls in love with him, she can die because he's a vampire. And he'll turn evil. You don't have to go too far to see that is the mindset of a pre-sexual being that is worried about what's going to happen if they give up their virginity. It is, you don't have to go very far to see that. And that's just one of the many things. This episode about the invisible girl, about a girl who nobody saw in high school and takes her revenge. My God, that's not that far to go. These are mythological ideas that were turned into stories and then brilliantly wrapped in phenomenal language, in creative ways. So I was, as I started to watch Ken on the show, I began to realize there's so much more to this show than I ever thought. And when people say, "Oh, Buffy the Vampire Slayer," that's because all they hear is the title. All they hear, and so they assume that the content is limited to vampires and slaying. And yes, there was a lot of that because people want that, but at the same time, there's so much more. And Joss was brilliant at bringing that into the show without hitting anybody over the head with it either.